Over the next few months, we're planning on scaling 2 or 3 of our clients to over 1 million cold emails sent per month. In this video, I'm going to break down why we have analyzed them and think they're a good fit, and what sort of tweaks or systems that we're going to need to put in place to make sure that this can happen. Let's get into it. So I saw someone comment on my video the other day saying something along the lines of, if you send good emails, why do you need to send 1 million a month? Which is like true, you don't need to, but like if you're getting good responses from your emails, then why not do more? Which is kind of the thinking, which is like, the main fear is that you're going to burn your total addressable market, you're going to burn your TAM. But if your TAM is big enough, then you should theoretically just keep scaling. If you've got a good ROI until there's something else, which is the bottleneck, which is like your sales capacity, and then you should solve for that, which is then your like fulfillment capacity, and then you can solve for that. But if you're looking to grow and you're getting good responses from cold emails, then you should just do more of them. Okay, so moving into 2026, well, we're in 2026 already, but we've got 3 clients or partners that we're looking to scale to 1 million a month. We believe that they can scale because they've got a large TAM, so essentially in the millions. So they all have a TAM where they can pretty much serve anyone, which makes it a lot easier. They're already profitable in smaller volumes, they're all already profitable in smaller volumes, and we're partners in the business or on a revenue share or profit share. So what that means is that we've got full oversight of the sales process, and we're compensated for solving hard problems. So harder problems are going to come up when you send at scale. Harder problems meaning like you're going to have to hire people and put them in place and train them, this sort of thing. So note, it's January the 14th. This video is probably not going to come out for a few weeks, but we haven't done the scaling yet. So there's going to be videos to come with the learnings and maybe the failures that come from this, as well as the successes. So this is just showing you what I'm looking at and what I'm trying to analyze to see if this will be a good thing. So I'm not going to necessarily talk too deeply around the campaigns themselves. I'm just going to talk about the things that are in place that make me think that this is an opportunity. So for client number 1, there's high conversion, meaning like it's easy to convert leads. There's a low LTV, which is the hard part with this, and there's a fast sales cycle. And when you're looking to scale, more than 1 million a month, it's going to cost a decent amount of money. In the tens of thousands of dollars a month. And so the sales cycle is important, because if it's a really long sales cycle like this one, we might not get paid for a lead for a year, right? Then there is some different calculations that have to go in, because you might run into some cash flow issues. Okay, so I've just roughly got the current numbers, and you can see that, let's just zoom in here. This is all that we're really looking at. Leads contacted, replies. So reply rate is 5.13%, which is very healthy. And the positive reply rate is 1.49%. Note, this is a positive reply rate from leads contacted, not from replies. Okay, so it's more like 30%, 28% of replies are positive replies. So these numbers are really good and healthy, and we're scaling them to 200K a month this month, and then we're scaling them up as long as these numbers hold. And I'll see if I've got anything else here that's worth sharing. So we've got the cost of a positive response from, how much the inboxes cost, how much the lead cost, the software cost, and then we've got the cost to acquire a customer, and we've got the profit per close and the total profit per month at different sending volumes with different numbers. And you can see that it's extremely profitable. This is not putting into consideration all of the costs, and it's saying that some things hold constant, which almost definitely won't. But I'm very confident that at high scales, this will scale really well. And the main thing here is that the total addressable market is just absolutely enormous. Like, we could probably scale this to like 3 million a month, which will be the goal. We're just going to keep scaling until these numbers change. And this is like not enough data to make these assumptions off. Like, I'm fully aware of that, but it is a starting point from what we're looking at. So for all of these, we're going from 0 to 200K. That's our first jump, because things are going to start to break at 200K, and we want them to break, because then we can fix them. So for example, for this client, we've hired an inbox manager just for them, right? Who's going to manage the replies. once we know the best way to manage the replies, we're going to build an automation using N8N to manage the initial response, which is far easier when you're just doing it for one client as opposed to when you're trying to do it for all clients in your portfolio. So the total addressable market is 20 mil plus. So the bad part here is the LTV. The LTV is $200. It's not a lot. So that is going to be the challenge here. But because the sales cycle is so fast, we know if it's working very quickly, which helps a lot. Okay, so the second client that I want to talk about, this is an M&A firm. So we're helping them essentially sign people to their brokerage. Low conversion, high LTV, slow sales cycle. And really the killer here is the slow sales cycle. So what we're finding is we might do outreach for an M&A firm to get seller leads. We're getting them like 200 to 300 leads a month, which is a lot. And so it takes some time to filter through and deal with them. And then to get someone from like, hey, I'm interested in talking to you, to signing on to the brokerage to sell, that can take 3 months is what we're finding. It's kind of the average. And then from selling to listing to selling, that's anywhere from like 4 to 10 months, right? So that is a sales cycle. And we get paid at the end, right? So we need to have confidence in those people, that they are the right people for the job, and they need to have confidence in us that we're going to stick around and pull through with them. So roughly 0.5% positive reply rate, which again is still very good. Around 1 in 400 positive replies, maybe a closed deal. So 1 in 80,000 companies contacted result in a closed deal, and the total addressable market is 2 to 3 million. So we're taking this to 250K and then building out a team and then scaling. So we've already hired, we've already interviewed, hired, and trained people for this. Okay, so that's the level that's required if you wanting to do this and for it to not break. Okay, and then I've got another thing here which I'm going to talk about. So this is a SaaS company which is wanting to exit at some point in the next couple of years, and so the math changes slightly, because if you're a SaaS company that can bring on business, then the multiple that you can sell at, or rather the monthly recurring revenue, if you can get that up, there's a multiple on that. So you're not looking at like the flat monthly recurring revenue or annual revenue, I suppose. There might be a 4x, 5x, 10x multiple on that. So the maths is a little different. They are getting some decent response rates off cold email, but the LTV is still relatively low. The sales cycle is fast again, which arguably is the easiest thing here. If you're profitable and the sales cycle is fast, you can just reinvest and grow. If you're profitable but the sales cycle is slow, you have to make some assumptions and take some risk to reinvest. Okay, so again, but with these guys, they're building to sell, so the maths changes, meaning that let's say they go from 10K MRR to 20K MRR. That might only be, a $10,000 a month difference, but that might increase the value of the company by $1 million. Okay, so those means that the maths on how profitable the outreach has to be changes quite a lot. If you are a B2B business and you want to talk about aggressively scaling your company and want to see if cold email is the right method to do that, then you can book in a call with somebody on my team below. If you want to dive into a longer video explaining what methods we use to get these calls booked, then there should be a video on screen now. I'll see you there. Peace.